Maybe get things a little more organized before the cameras start rolling, eh fellas?
You left me in a black hole of rage and confusion.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that underwent major reshoots. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at films that had to redo scenes or restart production entirely in favor of a new creative direction. We based our choices on how significant these alterations were to the final product. These could be for better or for worse, and could have been done before or after test screenings.
It's not gonna work out.
Number 10, World War Z. This zombie apocalypse made for a fun summer blockbuster, but many felt the more thought-provoking, intense themes of the novel on which it was based had been overlooked in favor of an overabundance of action scenes. Well, except for the third act, which presents a slower, horror-based climax in comparison to the set pieces found before it. Of course, this was actually the result of many people involved butting heads over how to properly end the film. The change came about very late in production, causing a rushed script rewrite, and the budget to soar to $190 million. The film was luckily a commercial hit upon release, so maybe the changes weren't so brain-dead after all.
Be prepared for anything.
Number 9, Payback.
Not many men know what their life's worth. I do.
This Mel Gibson neo-noir crime thriller was extremely dark in tone, as are most movies within the genre. However, studio execs felt that it was maybe too dark for its own good, and feared that it would ultimately alienate mainstream audiences. So a script rewrite was quickly put together, and the original director, Brian Helgeland, was booted off the project, with his position filled by the production designer, John Meyer. Roughly 30% of the film was altered due to this change, including a different opening scene, removing a sequence that involved spousal abuse, and the addition of Chris Christopherson as an antagonist.
Tell me where John is and I'll finish you quick.
Number 8, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Break out the L word.
Lesbian?
The other L word.
Lesbians?
This film began production while the comic series it was based on was still being written. This meant that director Edgar Wright had no ending to go off of, and therefore had to create his own.
You two make a good combo.
Originally, Ramona Flowers denied Scott's love, an ending that test audiences highly disapproved of because it didn't feel right considering the turmoil Scott had endured leading up to that point. Wright agreed, and reshot it as the one we know and love today.
Go get her.
What?
You've been fighting for her all along.
As for the final graphic novel, author Brian Lee O'Malley gave Scott an ending that was closer to the film.
Maybe we could try again.
Number 7, Fantastic Four.
I saw a different future for us, Susan.
When the behind-the-scenes drama is more interesting than the movie itself, its lack of success after the fact cannot be that shocking. Things seemed promising at first, with director Josh Trank fresh off his breakout hit Chronicle. However, reports indicate that there was unbelievable tension between Trank and the studio, with him supposedly behaving erratically and uncooperatively at every turn.
Victor, we're not gods. We're just people.
This caused him to be kicked off the project, with massive reshoots needed to stitch together some sort of coherent plotline from the already disastrous production. Needless to say, it failed, and it clearly shows, with critics feeling the film lacked a sense of pacing, logic, and even fun in the final product.
Always so smug, thinking you were smarter than me.
Number 6, Superman 2.
Who else is seeing this?
The original Superman movie was intended to be shot back-to-back with its sequel, which ended up arriving 2 years later. Director Richard Donner had completed approximately 75% of filming for the second installment, when an overlong shooting schedule and hikes in the budget sparked tension between him and several of the producers. To end the arguing and to make sure things didn't get too out of control, Richard Lester was hired to replace Donner to continue shooting Superman 2.
Why do you say this to me, when you know I will kill you for it?
Production began again under his direction, and he called for multiple changes to better suit his vision for the Man of Steel. This included refilming entire scenes that Donner had already completed, resulting in some continuity errors within the finished film.
You're
are Superman.
Oh, Lois, come on, don't be...
Number 5. Jaws.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Jaws is a classic of cinema, right? Well, if things had gone differently, it might not have been as fondly remembered as it is today. Aside from going over budget and shooting well beyond schedule, the film was originally going to show the killer shark much more often than what's seen in the final product. Steven Spielberg eventually felt that the prop shark looked goofy and even fake, instead opting to show it as little as possible, hoping this would create suspense, as we'd never suspect when it would strike next.
Okay, I'm ready.
Following extensive delays during principal photography and reshoots after test screenings, the challenges seemed worth it in the end, as Jaws became the highest-grossing film ever up to that point.
Smile, you son of a...
Number 4. Suicide Squad.
Hey, everyone can see all this trippy magic stuff, right?
Yeah, why?
I'm off my meds.
Where to begin? After the negative backlash to Batman vs. Superman's overly dark tone, Warner Brothers quickly pressured the filmmakers behind Suicide Squad to undertake additional filming to ensure a more lighthearted vibe, months after shooting was completed. The result was drastically different footage being cut together, ultimately culminating in a convoluted mishmash of plot lines, character arcs, and tonal shifts.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape?
Making matters even worse, several scenes involving the Joker were cut altogether, making his involvement in the final film feel almost pointless. Those sentiments were echoed in the critical reviews that followed its theatrical release.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Number 3. Apocalypse Now.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
This is yet another cinema classic, and one that had a long, hard road to travel to achieve that recognition. Reshoots were attributed to several factors both in and out of the filmmaker's realm of control. Entire sets were destroyed by a typhoon, causing production to be shut down. Then, star Martin Sheen suffered a major heart attack, causing filming to once again be interrupted and started again at a later date.
And when it was over, I'd never want another.
This isn't even mentioning the business side of matters, with the movie going well over budget and causing many headaches while they tried to convince the studio to give them more money to finish the project. The film is a masterpiece, but its development was an apocalypse.
Are my methods unsound?
Number 2. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
Look!
This spin-off from the mainline Star Wars series definitely felt like a departure from the franchise norm. Emphasizing the war in Star Wars, the film had a notably grim tone in comparison to its predecessors, something the filmmakers involved feared Disney may not be happy with. No spoilers, but the ending in particular is especially somber. Therefore, reshoots were pre-scheduled and done as a precaution to film a much happier option should the studio want a more pleasant ending.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Surprisingly, the House of Mouse was okay with the dark sad ending that ended up in the final cut, though some of the footage from the alternate version can still be seen in some trailers.
May the Force be with us.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Haphazard, morally neutral, and unimaginatively violent.
Number 1. Back to the Future.
Doc! Marty! You made it!
Yeah!
We need to go back. Back to the drawing board? Originally, the filmmakers wanted Michael J. Fox to portray Marty McFly, but due to Fox's commitments to the television series Family Ties, they had to go with Eric Stoltz instead. However, about 4 weeks into production, many involved felt Stoltz had been miscast, so once again they pursued Fox for the role. After Fox was officially hired, they had to start from scratch, reshooting pretty much everything they'd already filmed with Stoltz to maintain continuity. But if you look very closely, you can still see some of Stoltz's footage used in a few scenes. Even so, we still can't picture anyone else but Michael J. Fox as the time-traveling teen.
Whoa, this is heavy.
There's that word again, heavy.
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.